Welcome to this the sixth money bowl, and the sixth secret is to live below your means. Now, this is something that is a really odd thing that a lot of us Americans have a hard time with. We say to live within our means. In fact, the president recently had said something about we Americans are in this position because we live above our means. So he said we need to live within our means. Susie Orman did a whole thing that I saw. She's like, no, Obama. We need to live below our means. If we live below our means, then that's where you're going to see, I'm going to tell you all about what will happen. And it's like a domino effect. This helps to bring about more abundance in your money matters, to really make it a priority to not live large, but live less. In fact, to live on less, this does not mean that we expect less in value or that our standard of living is less, but that living on less, we're able to put that extra into a fund to grow into more. At the very least, that we're not getting further into debt. Even if we just live less, we're also having more than enough money for then our living expenses and our bills. When we live beyond our means, which most of us do, myself included, I was there one time, we dig ourselves deeper and deeper into debt and a place that we cannot enjoy a comfortable living. The stress then of everyday life is enough as it is. Then to add the extra stress of not having enough to pay the basics, it takes our toll on us on every aspect of our life. If we're living less and having more in our lifestyle and more in the future, then we don't have to live less. I don't mean live less to deprive ourselves. You can cut one expense that helps then turn around and pay for another expense. In the financial field, most experts will tell us to live within our means so that we can then pay ourselves first. In the financial field, this in turn, when we do this, leads us to have money not only for those emergencies, which we all should have, but also to grow a nice nest egg for the future. Now, just think if we do more, so see, this is where the more comes in for all these metaphysical, myself included, people that our words do become actions and do become part of us. When we can do more when we live within our means. So, but to live below our means, that in turn brings us more. So if we think of we're living below our means, it brings us more in the present and then especially in the future. Several Hollywood stars and financial gurus have publicly stated that they lived below their means to acquire financial freedom. Station called On the Money, and they state that we need to make a difference between needs and wants. That we all have money behavior which helps or hinder us in the present and in the future. Here's a list of many things that will help us on our journey of manifesting money and becoming more affluent financially. Of course, I say using the Money Bowl concepts and co-creating with our wonderful co-creator Money Bowl group here. We come together. We're also putting more, where the Bible says when two or more come together and they pray. You pray, of course you pray, and I believe in God, but also too it's in the metaphysical, the quantum physics law too. When you put that positive energy, each day try and spend 20 minutes in manifesting money, which could be as simple as, my favorite, is going to YouTube and search about money. Now you're going to find a wealth of information when you do 20 minutes. 20 minutes a day, because what it does is it gets in the subconscious mind. It takes 21 times to form a habit. So by doing it 21 times, that's going to take where you're going to get it in your brain, and you'll be surprised. By you trying to really focus on it, there's going to be a lot of little things that you're going to decide. Could be to not buy. It could be as simple as, you know what? I don't really need Starbucks today. You know, say you get Starbucks every single day. I really could save $10 a week by not having Starbucks twice a week. Not that I'm trying to not have Starbucks do well, but a way to help you to have more. Or I'm going to, like for instance, for me, I bring my lunch on a regular basis. Not that I don't go over here to McDonald's or that I don't go over to Starbucks or across to Fresh and Easy, but I try to bring my lunch and I try to bring my snacks for several reasons. Number one, it saves me money. Number two, it's healthier usually. And number three, it's convenient. I don't have to leave my office to go get lunch. So this is where the metaphysical part of it, where I know it sounds confusing, where I'm tweaking the words, so because our words are powerful, allow less to become more. For instance, when we downsize, also too, it frees us. Less does
You have
become
to.
more. And this is where it gets into the exchange, where it's good for, where I want to down the road even do it more so with our businesses and exchange, where such as swapping or exchanging even on TV paid programs and going to freebie channels. You know how a lot of people pay for TV now. You meet a friend for, this is what I do with a lot of my friends, even some with clients. You can even meet for coffee with a supportive friend, or instead of finding your support in new items. For instance, going to a thrift store, shopping more than, swapping at thrift stores, shopping more there than retail. Also, another way to swap is discount stores more than department stores. For instance, I like TJ Maxx as opposed to Macy's. Not that you can't go there, or discount stores as opposed to the mall. I don't know about you guys, but the mall is crazy expensive. Once in a while I can get a good deal. Susie Orman's favorite is by eating out less and eating in more. I like that one, it's healthier too. This helps the waistline too. And then making saving a priority. Learn the difference between needs and wants. Now, every financial guru tells us to do this. Like in the book, one of my favorite books, The Millionaire Next Door, that I listed in a must-read book list, is it shows that people become millionaires by living not only within their means, but below their means, yet having a rich, very rich and affluent lifestyle by doing this. We do have more by living on less. We really do, because then we have something more to work on. And also to remember, I mean, we can do overtime and whatever, but for instance, especially some of us that are in that set pay, that if you have a certain set pay and you're allowing yourself to only live to that certain set pay, where are you going to get the money from? I don't believe in competition, as far as I don't like to think of competition, because I like to think of being creative. However, you still need to think of it from the frame of mind, because I was raised in family businesses that my family would always say, why we don't need to be worrying about, you know, the businesses down the street and this and that. We also too don't want to allow ourselves for them to go there because we're not there for them. Learn the difference between needs and wants. And I think us as women, men too, because men want their nicer cars or whatever, but I think this is harder actually for us women than it is for men. We've got a different mentality. I say something, all flash, no cash here. And it's the bling, bling, bling. And don't get me wrong, I like my nice things, and we all have our thing. The needs and the wants, the needs should be 50%. That's basically, this is the magical formula. Our needs are 50%. And that, of course, and our wants are 30%, and our savings and investment are 20%. So if we can think of it, our needs, half of what we are, of what our income is, half of it will go for our needs. Only 30% is going for wants. So see, even though we're living on less, it's really not that bad.
Right.
We just need to have a different, you know, money mentality with our wants. And then the investments and savings is 20%. A little bit more than that 10%. Okay, these are our needs. Of course, housing, a place to live, utilities, water, food. I say water because, not that I'm against tap water, but I really think healthy water is important, especially nowadays. Food, clothing, transportation, and I put repairs in there because everybody knows that we need to repair our transportation. Medical, dental, medicine, vitamins, phone and internet. Now, this is last, but I think this is important too. Education, self-awareness, and entertainment. Now, these are the wants. The restaurant meals, our modern lifestyle conveniences that we're always upgrading, like for instance our phone. And another thing is extra gadgets. Like extra gadgets of, like, you know, having to have this and that when we don't really need it. Okay, high price vacations. I say that because there are ways that we can have a vacation without necessarily having to stay at this or that. Not that we shouldn't have a nice vacation.